I got another one.
Another one.
Hello everyone. Can you hear me? Sound check. Sound check. Yeah. Thank you for the presentation, Jakub. Morning. Sounds good. Great. Thank you. Welcome to this week's stream. As usual, time is flying. Feels like I'm almost streaming every second day or so, or even third maybe. Yeah, we are getting closer to our first TC test session, the public one. We are entering Polish state. Most of the codes, everything is in place, but we want to refine it as much as possible on anything we can find. And then it's time for the first public test, and we can still expect some chaos. We know you, the players, are good at finding things, and large numbers obviously discover things more efficiently than smaller numbers. So we think it's great to finally have the public test servers in place, so we can also continue moving forward with any upcoming content and patches to run some test phases to make sure that things are under control. Hopefully it will help us find anything that shouldn't be there for when going live. Chaos is why I play. Indeed. I mean, it's a huge system. A lot of stuff have been added, and very large, impressive updates from upgrades, I would say, from the first TC from Motlon 1. And it's getting exciting. There's a lot of, I think there's a lot of good core bases that adds to the end game infinite loop of interaction in different ways. So I think it's going to be awesome. And it's going to be very exciting for us in the dev team also to see what you make out of it and how player interactions and conflicts, alliances, and so on will form moving forward. It's always a big part of the game. These different types of player conflicts is also, one of the big things that makes the game feel refreshing and unique. So it's going to be exciting to follow that process. There is a shot that I may have some preparation next week's stream where we also announce the lineup for the first stress test, including a date, hopefully. I can't say if we make it in time for next week's stream or the next one again, but we'll try our best. So we're getting closer to also have that date that we are planning towards, and gonna give you the hands-on testing TC. Why am I orange? A good question. I still haven't figured out why I'm orange initially. It's I think it's when it's some sunlight from outside I get this orange touch, but after an hour or so when the sun moves down I look more normal. So bear with me. Rabbit focalism and catfolk. Yeah, we will see about that. Bronzed and tan. Henrik, how about beer riding? Yeah, so yeah, excuse me, I do have some I don't know what to call it, mucus in my throat. Doesn't sound that pleasant, but it's like I'm dry in the mouth, but I have stuff in my throat that makes me feel like I'm choking if I don't get it out of it. So I'm gonna try to drink some stuff here. So yeah, I can't say exactly when we'll add a new pack of writables. As I said before, we added extremes, small and large ones, so it helps us to continue adding more upcoming mountables. But everyone is 100% focused on TC because we want to, hit those deadlines. We want to put it on the public tests and follow our internal schedule. Thank you for the stream. I'm a new player and I've been enjoying this game a lot for the past 2 weeks. Retro RX, thank you very much and welcome to Mortal Online. I'm happy to hear that we, getting new players that are enjoying their time in the game and not just get, hard-faced out of the game because the game has a quite steep learning curve, and also the first experience in the game can be quite challenging to most new players that doesn't know what they're expecting. That is also a very important part that we are refining for the Epic Game release, because we know that too many new players doesn't really get into the game or giving it a fair chance to see what it's all about before they may run into a brick wall and may leave the game, which obviously isn't good for any of us, the game or anything. So we identify those steps and we are quite confident that we're going to have a huge improvement on that experience. And that's also when we plan to obviously start the marketing again and hopefully getting a new steady flow of more new players getting into the game. I got the game yesterday, really interesting experience so far. Can't wait for the future content updates. See Wave 30. Thank you and welcome you as well. And yeah, it's awesome to see new players surviving the first moment. We noticed a big difference also when new players get in touch with veterans that are happy to teach them about the game or recruit them to the guild. That is one of the most strong, powerful components to actually get new players aboard in a very efficient way. Or when a group or a few friends decides to join in together and together figure things out. That is also quite effective. But like I mentioned, we don't want to add it to the randomness factor when it comes to what happens after Haven, because everyone can go through Haven and handle that. We're gonna work a little bit on Haven, making it a little bit more exciting. We're gonna add a few goals that you may wanna achieve, and then you may leave Haven to start your real adventure on Mirland. And that's also where we add a very important starting component to the task system and security system of the games. All starting locations, it will be clear which one have high security, patrolling guards and so on, and murder counts. The nation rules are in place in those areas. The task system refined, so there are always work to be done for any new players that are a little bit lost initially. So very important parts that we want to add along with the Epic patch that goes with Unreal Engine 5. So yeah, we're getting closer and closer. We feel the excitement and of course also a little bit stress. We're still on par on being the first MMORPG in the world running on Unreal Engine 5 if no one pops out before our current schedules. And we also have another very interesting component that we want to give a little bit more time before we can announce that. But if that goes as planned, then wow, we are in for a treat along with the Epic patch. So there's some exciting things that I'm really looking forward to iron out some question mark and then announce them and share it with you as well. Expectation. Thanks for streaming. I'm a new player. Are you though? There's a chance to convert shit trinket drops into something useful like recharge polish. Annoying that you either hit mega jackpot or you insta delete. Yeah, so we have slowly added a few more components that have more common as drop values, right? And obviously, if you know exactly what you're looking for, you may remove them. We will see if there are a suitable conversion on some of it. But like I said before, we are slowly following up on time and adding the steps and the tiers. We didn't want to flow the market initially with those decent tiers, but we're still quite on the low end, just increasing the commonness value a little bit, more options on the medium tiers, but the high tiers is obviously still extremely rare, and we are carefully adding too many of those. But also, as I mentioned, there also needs to be some room for additional trinket types that are clade inspired that we also plan to add over time. Can we get some new content in the West? Yes, we will add various content, spawners, dynamics, points of interest on the entire continent, especially for the Epic Games patch. How to participate in the test. So as I mentioned, maybe next week or next one again, depending on the time. I don't want to promise anything there, but the plan is to in one of those streams to actually cover the testing phase, the first testing phase, the date for it, and how you participate. We welcome everyone because, as you know, we want a big test on these components. We want to find as much bugs and issues as possible, and also an overall balance feedback. We are setting up our parameters. We're gonna share the manuals, or how we call it, so you know what to expect, and our goals, and how you participate efficiently in that test phase, and how you contribute, helping us refining that patch. So we're gonna run that just for a few days, and then we're gonna go through all the content data, balance feedback, bug reports, and so on. Gonna go through that, work on that, and then we're planning a second test phase in a similar matter, and hopefully we should have ironed out any major or issues in that phase, and that will allow us for another short run going through all that, depending on the feedback and reports, obviously. And after that phase is when we plan to push it live, if things goes as planned. All right, let me jump down a little bit here. I'm falling behind, so sorry about that. So we do plan to have an update. The thing is, we don't want to promise too many areas for in one go. As you know, now we're 100% focused on TC, stability, and some polish around that. We're getting close to the testing phases, as I mentioned. And the next phase after that is a very important Epic Game patch. We know that our help chat, there can be a lot of spam, and it's not really always used as intended. And that's also why our mods and GMs try to keep it clean in there. Obviously, the help chat has one purpose, and that is to help new players and have that discussion rather than other random stuff, right? So we're looking to add a few rules and components to the help chat. We're looking if we should do the same thing as we did in the first game, which means you have X amount of time as a new player in help chat. After that time, you get disconnected from that chat. And veterans can sign up for be helpers, chat helpers, because obviously having a few vets in that chat helps new players if there are those players that are interested in helping. But yeah, we need to do some kind of updates with the help chat channel, because it's not fully used as intended, and can be quite chaotic at times. The question is when we will take that update. I can't say right now exactly when. When is your mandatory 4-week summer vacation? We have a tendency that to clash with important milestones and components with some of our vacation, oddly, so obviously we are getting close to some summer vacation time, so we need to make sure that we can handle obviously some vacation for the team, so they have, you know, getting back some of that energy and being fully set to keep delivering a solid development of Mortal 9. But I think we found a good plan how we distribute and handle vacation days within the team. We're not just all shutting down the company and taking all vacation. We are splitting up in different ways so we can handle our internal schedule. But yeah, obviously vacation is important, right? We all need some short breaks off to refuel, right? I can barely wait for beer riding. I can barely wait. Yeah, it's really cool watching today. It feels, you know, the game is growing, more and more functions and features. Just seeing people riding around on wolves and mulvas, and especially team riding on horses. Really cool to see more options, you know, bring a friend or help aid a friend, or taxi. I've seen a lot of taxi rounds happening, which is really cool to see. So yeah, it's cool to see the game evolving. Really fun to watch. Gerog, thank you for subscription. You said new continent for Epic release. Did you mean new content? Yeah, I meant content. We don't have a set date for the next continent. Yeah, sorry if I'm unclear with those two words. We will announce the status and progress of the next continent. For Epic, we are 100% focused on those areas that I mentioned. New player experience, the task security system to help new audience getting into the game and also get them into the game. Effective tools to let guilds recruit new players. We're going to have notice boards on all cities and locations, including on Haven. So new players often ask, how do I find a guild and so on? And people often say, check the forums or Discord, which is a good way. But it's also, as I mentioned many times before, the majority of our players are only active in a game and not outside of the game's community. That's actually the more common thing for most players. It's more the elite group hanging in our Discord and forums that wanna, you know, keep track on things on a daily basis and get first-hand information. So obviously we want to make sure that in-game we also have powerful support tools to have that kind of interaction and recruiting systems. So that also obviously aids you that are running guilds that want to grow or reaching out to new players, right? So yeah, hopefully that clears things out. Have you showed any picture? No, not yet. I'm gonna move over to that one in just a moment. Bear armor. I've had same issues placing houses. No matter where I go, the house never turns green, even in open fields. Yeah. And it's a very important component that we are working on right now as well, along with TC. Because obviously now when you're going to construct a hell of a lot more things, obviously the placement rules needs to be more accurate. So we are working on that process of slopes, the different rules that interfere with allowing you to place a building. So we are polishing on that part to make it a lot easier to place your structure. So hopefully we will have that sorted as well as along with the patch. So it will be more convenient to construct cities. 2 people on a horse was best update ever. It is really cool. I like it. It's just awesome. And it's a cool feature, quite unique feature as well. I have not seen it in any other MMORPG. Is there any? I can't think of any. But it's a cool feature. Not only cool, but actually very, very useful as well. Just talk to people in game and make friends and then join the guild. Yeah, obviously that's a common thing, right? But depending on where you are, where you start, and what group you run into, that can be extremely random, right? So adding the notice boards is really good, powerful tools to help both guilds and new players or anyone that are looking for a guild, right? So you can make you write about your guild, a little selling point and contact information kind of, and they can instant apply or contact you as with the different guild ranks. So a really good tool. With removal of echoes as they are today, will players have an option to move their pets elsewhere other than manually? So there's gonna be a most likely, we have been discussed this a little bit, we are not 100% sure with exact steps, but the current equerries and priests are gonna be transferred over to our new TC systems, which allows you to construct different types of priest buildings with the different priest functions and rules, and you have full control over them. So if you have enemies, you can make sure that enemies can't use the priests. Obviously very solid functions, right? And similar thing for equerries. So we're gonna update more on the exact details, but you will have the option to transfer them and build them and hire these NPCs wherever you own lands pretty much. So you're gonna have a very good control over that. All right, let me jump down a little bit here.
Oh my god, another one.
Oh my god,
Another one.
got another one. Eric Air, thank you for the prime, appreciate it. Maybe I type in a notice board for players to share info about themselves to allow guilds to also recruit and scout. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. We had something similar in the first game, and it was a very powerful, simple tool, which everyone appreciated, right? So I'm gonna try to add those and have them a little bit refined. Hello, Henrik, thanks for developing this game. Love it. I have different question though. There are records of professional mounted archers that were capable of using their bows in both hands equally.
Oh my god, another one.
Equally skilled. Could you have the possibility to change bow hands to be able to shoot to the right of horse instead of only to left? So there's an endless amount of those types of support, right? The question is how much value it gives to the game, how much development time we need to put into it to make it happen. So just, you know, without going through exactly what it requires, a little bit similar with, you know, we're looking at supporting left hand play styles to mirror the animation, stuff like that. Some of it makes sense, right? And some of it doesn't require too much development efforts. But right now we are more in the phase of we absolutely need to get 100% focus on these core pillars, core foundations that are making us ready for both TC and Epic Games Unreal 5. It's extremely large milestones. So I would say that before those are delivered, we won't really dilute in too many areas and try to crunch in too many things. We want to make sure we have everything under control and really polished. And after that phase is when we're gonna have another in-depth interaction with the community. We're gonna share a framework of different areas that we are picking from, and we're gonna let you guys engage and vote and pick. These are the areas we're most interested in, and that will help us to define that next roadmap. And that could include everything from large features to minor features to quality of life functions, just like this one, right? And that will help us pinpoint a prioritized order of lists, what features and what quality of life are our community most looking forward to or want first in upcoming patches. So a lot of those suggestions go perfectly along with that phase when we're gonna try to collect. If we see a lot of people are signing off to this quality of life function, that may be a candidate and be placed on the roadmap. So hopefully you guys will help us with creating that upcoming roadmap with proper focus. Horka Madonna, thank you for the subscription. Appreciate it. Why doesn't Sulgi lore damage defense work for Rising Pets? I think that when you use magic, necromancy, dead body parts, and using the magic component to make them move for you and fight for you, they are not really the living component anymore. A living cat will behave very different from a undead cat. Do you see what I mean? So I don't think they go under the same category anymore. If you're a hunter and you are specialized in hunting cats, you know how they act and react, how they fight, and that may be a little bit different from when they're dead without a brain and just follow magic, if you know what I mean, right? So I think that is the reason. With that said, I'm not sure though if it still should have that impact from those skills, because it's still, you know, a body of a cat, you know, so we would have to discuss it to see if one way or the other is the right approach. I can't say for sure without talking to some of the lore and Zulgi experts as well, along with the magic. We're getting Terrorbird armor, so we are getting armor for all the creatures over time, and bags for all the creatures over time, and mountable options for all of them over time where it's suitable. I can't say how many and when. It will just be an ongoing phase where you will see a new pack of gear or bags or armors going in, and that will be on upcoming patches. We're going to make pet skillful. So that is a huge system, and it's an ongoing process. We are trying to see which skills abilities are never used or underperforming or not good enough, and we'll obviously try to get them in a position where there are use for them, and that is rewarding more so than being passively using pets. There's a lot of them, right? So it's something that will be more of an ongoing thing, a little bit like we've done with clade balance and some of the materials and so on. So we want to be careful and doing it as good as possible. So no more priests or equerries inside stronghold. So we may allow them to be there initially and then phase them out. We are not 100% sure yet what is the best procedure, because obviously we want to make sure we don't, you know, cause a disaster for you guys. But we are looking to have kind of phase them out, right? So you will have a better control of the new equerries and priests and other NPC services. You hire them and place them wherever you want in your lands. So you will have better control, better rules around them, and hopefully that will easily replace the ones in the strongholds currently. But we're gonna obviously update more about that, and you're gonna obviously also in this stress test for TC, you're gonna be able to test all those NPC services, so you will see how they work, how efficient they are, and how much better control you have. And of course, you know, we want to engage with you. How do we best phase them out, so we have one system only for handling those. But it could be that we have to, you know, phase them out over time or something like that. I'm not 100% sure yet. Thanks for nameable bags, by the way, that owns. Yeah, that was one of those quality of life functions. And, you know, as I said, you have many quality of life suggestions that we 100% agree with. It just, again, some of them may be rather quick, some take a longer time. And since we have been focusing so heavily on polishing, bug fixing, and other core improvements, we can't just add an army of them in one go, right? Because then we can't improve the game where it needs improvement first. But yeah, name bag was one of those that sometimes we have functions that we can reuse very efficiently. And obviously when that opportunity arises, then it could also be a good opportunity to add them to the game without too much development effort or changing or schedule too much. Demo Man, thank you very much for the Prime 3 month. Appreciate it. But yeah, I know quite a bit more quality of life function that you suggested that is on the table, and we're gonna spread them out on the upcoming patches where it makes sense for our developers also to include them. Yeah, that is a perfect example of a quality of life thing. How about UI notification that lets you know where the priest and home button will take you when pressing it? It's a perfect quality of life function that we 100% agree with. We want that exactly. And we are trying to get some of those in these upcoming patches. And what we don't, that doesn't make it in those patches, obviously we're going to plan them in other patches after that. But yeah, that is a very good one. And I hope that is something we could have in for the Epic patch also. But I can't say for sure. It depends on our development resources. But yeah, that is one on the list. Will Node-line transition with the upgrade to Unreal 5? So this is a common debate, right? And I know it's impossible to keep track of. But again, I want to remind everyone what it means. So there's two things in Mortal Line that also makes the game kind of unique. One thing that isn't unique to Mortal Line is level streamings in Unreal Engine 4. And they have been working on improving that in Unreal Engine 5. And that is an engine function that we use to load and deload a lot of data assets in the world so you can travel without any loading instances. So obviously that is a core feature for Mortal Line. We don't want you to load every time you step in or go out of a house or go down into a dungeon. We want you to have a flawless, streamless experience when you are running around fighting and so on, right? That's very important. And that is what you notice as a big freeze or lag situation in Mortal Line currently. When you transition over these lines, you notice your computer freezes from a second to a millisecond or even worse, depending on hardware as well, quite heavily on the CPU actually. It locks the entire game until it has the data, and then it continues with the game. So it's a hard lock and quite bad experience. We have identified all those locations throughout entire Midland. And we already improved a few of them and done tests how we can improve them, especially also for Unreal Engine 5. And the plan is to have them all covered with Unreal 5 transition, which means you will have a much more smooth traveling in the world without these hiccups. They should be greatly improved and at many points, removed from that negative experience. Node lines is something different. That is unique to our technology. When we built the MMORPG solution, the network side of things, and that has pretty much nothing to do with Unreal Engine 4 or 5 for that matter. It's a dynamic system that allows us to calculate data on different services in this massive world to be able to handle thousands of players traveling in the world with very high detail level of functions, as you noticed, with hitboxes, real-time traces, VoIP systems in real time, and it just works in large scale and even larger scales now since our improvements over the months that we haven't really put to the test yet because we haven't reached those numbers yet, but I'm quite sure we may reach some of those numbers for TC and Epic Games, so that's why we have been working hard on that as well. And the node lines, you can't notice a node line really if something doesn't really go wrong, bug out, or a node crashes. That's when you can notice that. We have one node crash that happens every now and then over time, and the more players that are online, the more frequent this node crash happens. So the more players, the more frequent the node crashes. We have identified an area of where it crashes, and obviously going to try to fix that. But there's also one permanent long-term solution, and that is that we have a backup system with nodes. So if a node crashes, a backup node takes over. And obviously that is meant to be a infinite solution. So even though we get crashes, it doesn't matter. The game recovers and continue. You may notice a hiccup or at worst case a disconnection from the game, and then you can get back on again. Obviously not the best experience, right? But we are also working on improving that backup system to more efficiently take over and reset itself correctly and add a new backup in a proper way that it can do it infinitely. So we never have to care about if it has less nodes, worse performance, and need to do manual reboots and so on. So it's a very good system to have refreshed to work 100% as we want. So we're gonna fix the node crash and the backup system, and hopefully we will never experience any negative parts along with that and more. So I hope that kind of gives you a little bit of an insight on node lines and level streaming, the differences. Heinz, thank you very much for the subscription. All right, let me jump down a little bit here. Are there any plans to address the constant rain in the game? So there may be areas that have too much of humidity that allows a lot of rain, right? We're gonna try to pinpoint those and adjust them a little bit, yes, so there are a little bit more variation and neutral weather as a baseline. But some areas in the world are meant to be more humid, hot or cold than others as a baseline, and when there's a lot of humidity, it often allows for more rain, right? But obviously we don't want one large area to be constant raining. That's a little bit too much, right? So yes, most likely we want to try to refine those a little bit. How to rename bags? If you hold your mouse on the bag, it will say how. Should be like a control, a double command to rename it. But mouse over, you see the information. It says how you rename them. Speed meter or thirst indication, please. I guess another quality of life suggestion, right? I can't say when the next continent will be ready at this point in time. We are, as you know, next step is the big transition to Unreal 5. We're gonna go live on Unreal 5, and it also includes a lot of new working systems when it comes to building a large world. So really powerful tools that we highly benefit from. So we don't want to go too deep in a more crude homemade system when we see Unreal Engine or Epic Games are spending a lot of effort in making that extremely powerful and efficient, so we can just be creative and build a world very efficiently and quickly, rather than going through our more crude pipeline to make it work. I mean, performance is always a key factor for us, and that's always not the main concern for Epic. They want to push the boundaries, they want to impress the world, and sometimes that means it's a little bit, a premature technology, awesome, standing out, but it could be quite a big hit on performance. So that's always a challenge for us. We can't just jump a cool features and expect it to work 100% stably, and also perform with perfect performance. So we're quite careful taking transition in steps and allowing you to have control over the options depending on your hardware, so you don't get worse performance when we upgrade to Unreal Engine 5. But yeah, it includes new system of how to build large impressive worlds, and obviously we want to try to utilize that as much as possible to save time. So that's why some components are waiting when it comes to the next continent, are waiting for that transition to be fully in place and stable enough. Important question: when Unreal 5 comes, will the graphics of trees, forests, rocks, grass improve? At the moment it looks more like graphics from 10 years ago. Wooly wooly, I wouldn't agree it looks like graphics from 10 years ago. We actually just got rewards for being the most beautiful MMORPG game in the world. And that's a big achievement, and we actually got the rewards and prizes for it that we're gonna put on our website and share with you guys. We actually got 8 rewards in total for these years of development for Modline 2. It's standing out heavily on certain points, which awarded us these really cool awards. So that's awesome. There are parts in the world that obviously isn't as beautiful as other parts of our world, but I think the majority would say that this is one of the best looking MMORPG currently on the market that is released. So I guess that's a more personal opinion, right? But with that said, there are parts that obviously will get a facelift with Unreal Engine 5. We're not completely changing all the assets in the entire world because that's a massive project, but we are making use of the new Lightning Shadow system depending on your hardware. And there are parts and areas we are improving, replacing and updating, refining. So all in all, it's gonna go from the currently best looking MMORPG to the even better looking MMORPG with solid performance, which is our key word. We want to offer hundreds of players on your screen fighting with chaos and still run on acceptable frames rather than having it look insanely realistic and you have 5 FPS. You wouldn't enjoy the game as much, especially when it's player versus players, you know, a lot of players on the screen. Where's Henrik from? Like his accent. I'm from Sweden. What do I sound as when it comes to my accent? Glad to hear Unreal 5 going to fix every problem in Mortal. I'm not sure I said that. I'm not sure how you interpret that part. Falco Ghost, I'm new to the game and I'm loving playing the game. It's helping me a lot in my life. That's awesome to hear and welcome. I think with your newer shorter streams, I vote that you ignore the questions that you answered a billion times already. I try to not repeat myself, right? But as you can see, every day we get new players showing up and they're interesting and they learn new stuff. But yeah, of course, I don't want to, you know, make it sound too repetitive for all you guys that want to keep tuning in my streams, because I appreciate that, obviously, that you keep tuning in. So I will try to go through them quickly, efficiently, and we can cover some new grounds. And yeah, I'm aiming to run 2-hour streams, keep them short and informative. You get another 50 primaries. So with the veteran system, you're gonna get more primaries and options. That will be on the upcoming roadmap of the Epic. And I'm not sure if we should allow you to vote on it or if we just plan that should be one of the initial one, because it adds more depth and character progression, which I know many of you veterans are looking forward to. And yeah, you will be able to get even more options on your character styles. At this point, maybe level streaming zones should be called node lines, and node lines should be renamed. They never get it right. Yeah, it's like I said, I'm not blaming anyone. It's impossible, right? Because a lot of people learn a game, a lot of streamers, and they learn to say node lines. Everything is node lines. Everything is related to node lines when something strange happens, and that's become the common theme, right? So obviously everyone educate each other with that term, and yeah, it's confusing. Right, let's see. Let me jump down a little bit and then we'll proceed on my topic for today's stream here. If you travel middle towards the and take right path of the mountains, is an area where land is clipped 2 meters in the air with an invisible wall. If you report that in game, I think we have that on our tracker, and hopefully we'll be able to cover that in upcoming patches. But yeah, obviously if there's anything going completely crazy when you travel the world, we appreciate if you report that as a bug and have a description as good as possible, because along with that report we get your location in the world, and that goes to our developers, and then they can go through that list and trying to, you know, solve all those issues we have in the world. Don't worry, guys. Unreal 5 will fix everything. I don't know how you got that conclusion. We never said or stated that Unreal 5 fixes anything. What we stated is that Unreal 5 gives us a lot of powerful tools, really good improvements to our technology, and more efficient tools to build worlds. And in few areas, improvement in level streaming systems and bugs that we have in Unreal Engine 4, then obviously those will be a good fix for our game also. But when it comes to game features, functions, or lack of quality of life, obviously those won't be affected whatsoever, depending on what engine is rendering the game. Thank you so much. Your game is very hard and fun. Just another SCB. Thank you. Does Clay inspired trinkets mean Thirst Life still will be equipable? No. So what I mean with that is that we're gonna have different types of trinkets that comes from the different clades and races in the game. For instance, you will have hairpins from the Korites. So you have hairpins that you decorate yourself with in a similar manner as a ring on your hand, but it has different types of powers and bonuses that are different from the current rings and amulets. So it doesn't completely translate to the clade gifts. No, not really. But some of them are close related.
Oh my god.
This preview is in chicken armor. The chat would be sad. Holy shit, Demon Man. Holy shit. Aina Code, thank you for subscription. Hi, it's Xame's birthday. Can you greet her a happy birthday? Thank you. Xame's happy birthday. Happy birthday. How old is Xame's turning today? So chicken armor, right. I have to disappoint you because this is a big one. This is a big one and it looks freaking badass. Freaking badass. But it will be here eventually, the chicken one. The chicken armor doesn't have very high priority right now, as you can understand. It's not very useful, but it looks cute as hell. It's referring to the elementalist making it rain. Ah, okay. Well, that depends on the elementalists, right? If you cast rain, weather control, it's gonna rain. If you cast snow, it's gonna snow. If you cast remove clouds, you're gonna remove the clouds. So that is actually not in our hands, it's in your hands. I thought you meant that some areas have too much rain or so. Naturally, I mean. Another team is working hard on the game, 10 months in, and I still having a blast. Loving all the new content. Excited for the future. Thank you very much, Sir Tao. Thank you very much. The team highly appreciate it. Hooly Wooly, I responded to your question there. I guess I read it. I'm behind, right? But I think you got your response on it. Will Unreal 5 be in 2023? Yes. As long as something extremely disastrous doesn't happen, that is completely out of control. But so far, that doesn't look to be the case. So yeah, slowly but steady, moving towards Unreal 5 transition. So yeah, hopefully we will still be the first in the world. That will be a pretty cool achievement, right? Being the first large-scale MMORPG in a very complicated world running on Unreal Engine 5. It may even help us with some marketing, right? People may want to take a look on one of the first, most likely, MMORPG in Unreal 5. There are some on the horizon that comes in a few years, right? I strongly believe we are first in queue to make it happen. Henrik, my English is poorly. Sorry, no worries. House with animals that goes through walls and houses and cannot be blocked in. Yeah. So pathing inside houses where there are walls decorations on is a insane project. And we decided we can't spend a few months in solving that easily. So yeah, sadly, animals pretty much ignores your decorations. Obviously, that comes with a certain experience when it comes to using the pets in the houses, making them superior when it comes to not being blocked by the decoration. But that's sadly an extreme, difficult technical challenge for us to spend way too much time into. We always have to prioritize where do we spend our development resources. We are still a very, very small team compared to the giants out there. And we would love to get a fractions of the resources that those games gets, like Star Citizen or... because if we just get a fraction more resources, we can hire more developers, and that means we can start giving them more and more of these tasks. That does improve the game further, obviously, gives more features, give more of those balance systems in place. But sadly, that is the case right now. We can't have animals to read decorations, and therefore they kind of go through them a bit. If you run the game at low and everything, of course, it's not gonna look good. Yeah, and even though it looks pretty good, but yeah, if you obviously run in lowest resolution, texture resolution, things gonna look blurry, right? One thing looks insanely good. What are you talking about? Yeah, so now I'm catching up to my that question and my response, I guess. But yeah, that is absolutely the indication that we are getting from players across the world, that it is one of the most beautiful game, and obviously we were happy to that. We spent a lot of effort in trying to hand sculpt the stuff that really makes Mortline stand out in characters. I've never seen such detail level of any character, period, not even single player games. I mean, there are coming out new games every year, or upcoming games using new technology that always push the boundaries, right? But still live, I don't think I've seen any game on the market that has better looking character models than us with the details. Just open a character window, zoom in on the face. Holy shit, it's beautiful. And that's the real model in game, right? When you stand in front of them. I've yet to see a better character models in any game, single or multiplayer. So I'm very proud of what the team have accomplished and all that hard work that went into those model building. But yeah, it will look even more realistic with the new lighting system and shadow system. That adds that touch of realism that games are lacking a little bit today. So obviously going to look even better in Unreal 5. Yes, 8. It was 5, Notorious Dig. We actually got the final rounds, we got additional rewards. And I was really happy because one of them that I thought we have a shot on getting reward for being the most beautiful game, because it is when we talk to the majority of people. But we didn't get that initially. But in the last round when it went through everything, we got that. The best looking MMORPG in the world, #1 place. Bam! Bam! So we're getting those statues that all the major companies have on their trophy rooms, reward rooms. Finally, we are getting our first ones. So that's awesome. The team got really happy, obviously, to get that reward from a professional panel of game developers and jury across the world from multiple countries. So yeah, 8 in total. That's not bad for Mortal Online. It's also game developers that knows that, holy shit, what the hell have we built? How the hell did we build it? And how the hell did we build it with so few developers? It is a very impressive achievement. And, I praise the team for that effort. And it's easy to forget about that, right? When you're just running around in a game. But yeah. Well, looks amazing. The food is he on. The whole game is beautiful. Indeed, it is. And it will look even better, yes. Xame's birthday. Who's Xame's? Xame's. Outbundle is being refined. It is. It is. Every single city is getting a huge rework when it comes to performance and how we optimize them. We identified huge bottlenecks that was built in a wrong way, unfortunately, in the early ages of the development. And obviously, the team gets more experienced and we get new tools and functions that we can rely on. So yes, part of the Epic, you're going to see big improvements in all the cities and locations of the world that will simply give you more frames and, you know, just run much more smoothly. We don't dare to set an exact date on Thievery at this point, unfortunately. And that is because we don't want to postpone our two big milestones, TC and Unreal 5. So those two goes first, 100% focused from everyone, and secondary goes those features that we can put in any patch where it's suitable, right? So yeah, that's how it's looking right now. Is Unreal 5 2023? Yes. Okay, I'm gonna Manchester accent. Holy shit, I'm sorry, I'm a few minutes behind. So it sounds as Manchester accent. Wouldn't have guessed that. Granicot, you're way off, way off. I mean, if we were to release Unreal 5 in 2027, then I doubt we would be the first game anymore, right? Right, I see the same questions here now, so I'm behind. I'm gonna scroll down a little bit here. One moment. Yeah, shit, I'm behind. Frog, thank you for the prime. I mean, I missed some stuff here. Can we get a happy birthday sign from the all-powerful King Henry? Henny. Professor. General, will be able to transfer keeps, for example, selling, or if you make a new guild and want to keep under the new guild. I have to confirm with Sebastian's codings before I say anything more than that. Yeah, let me jump down now. I keep getting distracted here. Who is Xame? DLSS 3 when? Hopefully along with Unreal 5 transition, and we also may include the equivalent version for AMD. What's it called again? I always forget about it, but you know what I mean. AMD users, they have an equivalent technology that is slowly catching up. You know which one I'm talking about. Who cares about Unreal 5 when you're not utilizing nanites foliage? We are gonna utilize nanites, but not on everything, because it's not practical to use it on everything. And the biggest thing for Unreal 5 is the lightning and shadow system, not nanites actually. Nanites is a really cool, powerful function that allows us to make insane, detailed static meshes. But I would say lumens is a bigger impact on how the game looks. Because you have to build the models properly to properly make use of nanites. Then those models will shine. Yes, absolutely. But if we just transfer everything to nanites, it won't directly look much better, and you may actually have a hit on the performance, depending on how everything is built. So we're gonna try to utilize it where it matters and where we get most bang for the buck and where it can shine. And then we're gonna give it options for lumens that makes the game look really insanely realistic. All right. Shit, I thought I was catching up, but I'm still behind. What the hell is going on with this scroll window? One moment, guys. Shit, okay, now I think I'm on the bottom. All right, guys, let me proceed on the topic here before time is running out here. So let's take a little look here. We have just finalized another armor set that will eventually be put in one of the upcoming patches. Let me find the picture. Should be BAM! What do you think? Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think about this one? I knew it. Crazy, bang, cool, sick, badass. So yeah, it's finalized. This is the result. And obviously this is the type of armor we're putting on everything, including the horses. So this style of armor is being slowly deployed on all gears. GTA addresses it pretty quickly and swiftly. Addresses what? Can we opt out of all these lumens and shit? I don't want to buy a 4090 to play this game. Yes, L-Dog, we prioritize always performance. So when we do optimizations, we make sure that we have options for your hardware. If you have next gen, go ahead and use it. If you don't, you can disable some of this stuff and you won't have a loss of performance. Looks like Minecraft. Holy shit, Macken, what the hell happened to your eyes? Please, fetch your glasses, my friend. Put them on for God of love. For love of God. A huge chicken indeed. So we are building the support for the platform, because now when we're building the siege machineries, we're getting the platform support. And that means we could potentially place a platform on top of the biggest creatures we have where it makes sense. And not only that, that function is also for the wagons and later the ship system. So we're actually getting that core component that is required for all those areas, which is really cool to finally get that in place as well. Now make campus rideable. We will. No taverns, no nanite foliage. Come on, man. I mean, like I said, we are gonna utilize nanites on plenty of things in the environment, but I can't say we're gonna use it on everything because it doesn't make sense to use it on everything. We wanna get bang for the buck. We're gonna wanna get a nice facelift, but we also wanna get performance, right? Performance is extremely important for this type of game. Good sweet spot, not too much, and really epic though. Enough. Yeah, I'm happy to hear that, and the team that have worked on it is obviously also very happy to hear your feedback and that you seem to like the result. A lot of hard effort always goes into them because we want everything that we produce to be really, really solid, right? So we never have to go back and fiddle around with them. And we always aim for some realism and believable content, right? That's one of the core direction. And yeah, obviously you can see some inspiration from Lords of the Ring. They had some blades on those huge elephants. That was really cool, we thought. And we got some inspiration there. So yeah. So we are very happy that you like it also. Can buttons be mountable without platforms? Yes, yes. You will be able to mount this 1 or 2 players, similar to the Mulva Beast. And later on, we will see if it fits to add a platform that allows you to stand on a platform, and as long as you can stand on it, you move along with it. Like I mentioned, we are building those components for the siege system, the siege machineries. It's quite complicated. So it's still under construction, those support systems. but it looks really cool. If we're getting those ring-inspired armor, we need a Hobbit race, Henrik. The Hobbits. we talked about if we should have small gnomes, hobbits races many years ago, means mats. But then we also thought, well, we tried to have some realism, and if you're so small, you should be flying when someone runs into you or smash you, so you will just die as like a fly, so you wouldn't survive the harsh world if you're not sneaking around in the bushes all the time. And we laughed a little bit and said, let's wait with those small races, right? But yeah, I mean, still you can make quite small Shivras, right? And a little bit small Ogmirs, but they're also more sturdier, especially the Ogmir's stone race. Of course, you could say that the small Alvarins, you know, but yeah, they are weaker, right? Man, Campodons are so strong, wouldn't it make sense they don't get slowed by armor? Yes, they will get slowed down by armor. So there will be an update on stats and visibility and functions on your pets, along with the breeding system that we're gonna add on later. Again, depending on how the community want things in what order, it may come earlier on the upcoming roadmap or later. That I cannot say until we have that discussions. It's a really cool model, but aren't the tusk swords a bit extreme? I mean, we want something fierce to stand out, right? We don't just want it common and boring, but at the same time we don't want it to go crazy, right? So we're trying to find what strengthen this animal. I mean, the tusk is really impressive, right? So how can we make that, express that even harder? With the blades, we like that in Lord of the Rings. It makes sense, it's believable. Everyone enjoyed it in the movie and thought that that's realistic, that's real, and we tried to make our approach to it. So, but yeah, like I said, I can fully understand that some people won't always obviously be happy with the design, and that's just how it is, while some may really like it, right? And the goal is for us not only to have one style, right? The goal is to, over time, offer multiple clade-inspired armor types for pets and our player models. So you can mix and match however you want. Love the armor, Star Wars. Happy to hear, Poop Lava. Gnomes. Steintrolls. When, Henrik? Let them ride chickens too. Steintrolls. Indeed. So yeah, let's see. Greedy dance emotes. I mean, over time we want to have a lot more emotes, right? And a quick access to the emotes, such as a macro system where you make an icon and a command. So you just click the icon to perform that command or say that phrase or whatever that may be. So that's something we're planning to add also. $150 it's not small. I want my 120 weak ass classes. Yeah, that's what I meant. The gnomes would be 120 and so weak that they fly every time we walk into something. So we wonder, will there be a huge interest in playing these raids that are dying left and right without engaging in battle even? So that's why we excluded them, at least for years to come. That's the decision we took. But I mean, sure, you know, more options over time. We will see. How is TC going along? It's going along very well. We have a rough state where everything is in place. But there are some crazy madness going on that we obviously needs to polish and refine before we let you guys go at it. But as I mentioned, my goal is to either next week or next again announce the setup for the stressed phase. We're getting closer and closer. So yeah, it's going to be exciting. The tusks are dope. Happy to hear it. Gambling. You can't ride elephant yet, but we will enable it to be rideable as well in upcoming patch. I can't say exactly which one and which one we pick to be rideable. So we're most likely going to add a few ones like we did last patch. Maybe the beer, a Campodon, and maybe something else. We're gonna go through exactly how you start your guildstone and territories. It's a specific setup, and we're gonna share with you how that's gonna work in detail quite soon. Bladed tusks, oh cool. We're gonna ride razorbacks. Yeah, that's one of the upcoming also. I can't say when at this time. I will play so much more if I can be a small pixie character. Yeah, I mean, we will see later down the road, right? When it comes to expanding playable content and experiences. You know, this is a never-ending project. It's one of the beauty of the game. You know, we can keep on developing and we can keep on playing it for many, many years to come because it will keep on expanding and becoming larger and better. Do you hear my office mail? Sorry. Yeah. You see, I have a lot of mail on a daily basis. I got immune to the sound. When do we get a big mage hats? You mean the pointy Gandalf hats? As I mentioned before, we tried to do a few sessions. It looked misplaced, but we haven't fully given up. We may get a version that fits mortal eventually. We really try to respect the lore and style to be the same universe, so we don't just mix and match. A little bit like World of Warcraft did with World of Warcraft. I was so surprised. Now again, I'm not 100% hardcore fan or all knowable when it comes to the Warcraft universe, but it started fantasy, right? And then all of a sudden you're driving motorbikes and robots. Have they completely lost it, or are they just going all themes to cater to all styles? But I thought it was strange to just go nuts to mix and match everything in one setting. We try to respect our setting and believable setup, if you know what I mean. That ships in WoW also. Yep. I played the first year when it was released, you know, back in vanilla, when it was a little bit more hardcore. You have to grind crap out of things to proceed. The bosses was tough. But I struggled so much because I couldn't catch up to my friends. I couldn't play with my friends because we were keep leveling, obviously, on a daily basis when it was new. And I thought, what the hell is this? Come on, guys, pick me up. Let's do something fun together. Let's play the game as a group. You know, it's an MMORPG. Let's play together like we do in Star Wars Galaxies and Ultima Line and Mortal Line. No. It doesn't work like that, Henrik. Stay in your low-level areas and do the quest. Holy shit, I don't want to do the quest. Please, man, please, pick me up. No, Henrik. Doesn't work like that. You have to follow the arrow. Follow the arrow, Henrik. And I said, what the hell is going on? Give me a freaking game we can play together then. That's it. I got to level 40 or so. My human priests, and that's it. What the hell? Best part of Mortal, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, like I said so many times, to me, MMORPG is all about play interaction. Play with your friends, do crazy things together, hang out, you know, do casual things, tough things, wars, whatever, right? And that's what I'm coming from Ultima Online as well. So when I stepped into World of Warcraft, all the buzz was going on, and I thought, okay, let's try to enjoy this game. It's a master company that made this with endless resources. Let's have some fun. And I started one day too late. That was my mistake, because I could never play with my friends. They were always X amount of levels above me, and since I couldn't play 24/7, they left me in the dust. And at one point, okay, you're enough level. What was it? Level 20 something. Now you can do the first instance. I can come now and kill everything for you. You just stand behind me, and I'm gonna ultra level you, and you get past this as well. Gonna get some items. And I was, what the hell is this? Come on, man. Is this fun, guys? Are you enjoying this? Yeah, it gets better, Henrik. Let's endure. Let's endure. Yeah, I hope so. Because now I'm spending 10 more hours so I can play with you guys. Yeah. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. And I spent those 10 hours and I said, holy shit! Holy shit. What the hell do we do now then? You have to do 10 more levels, man. Just come on. Now you need to go to level 60. Get out of here, man. Get out of here. And then I went back to Ultima Line. Surreal. Yes, there's been much work and improvement in that area. I think the base promotion was make friends rather than play with your friends. Yeah. But that was the thing also. So I had that in mind, right? And went over there, I saw a player, and I said, hey man, shall we go do this? And he was standing like this. And then bam, run away doing his quests, like a single player game. I couldn't have a single play interaction whatsoever that was meaningful throughout those months that I tried World of Warcraft. And I could never enjoy the game with my friends. And then I had to find, do the auto sign up in an instance with 5 random kids. And, I can see that, yeah, that's fun. You have your role, you have to do well and beat those instances and bosses. But didn't give that much of a meaningful enjoyment when I couldn't really enjoy it with my friends, actually, because, yeah, I was behind. Obviously, that's my fault, but it was so extreme level linear based that you had to run through it all, right? Anyway, that's enough ranting about WoW, one of the best MMORPG game in the world. So obviously they've done a lot of good stuff with the game, right? What the hell, Blizzard? Come on, man. Come on, man. Just 10 more levels, man. Yeah. Sounds like you're describing rep runs. Yeah. Yeah. I was like expecting that, okay, I have to endure because it's going to be better soon, right? We're going to enjoy more soon together. But I never got there, no matter what. So, and I was thinking, I think I'm burnt by Ultima Line, Star Wars Galaxy's Evil Line, that kind of gameplay mechanic and mindset. And that's the conclusion for me, right? I demanded more. I demanded more freedom, more depth, rather than a cool, linear, well-made story and level-based, right? So I fully understand why it's an impressive, solid game for the masses, but I obviously also understood why it never could really appeal to me on a good level, right? Even though I could see where it's, there's some stuff that I could enjoy and understand why it's good, right? What's about staff magic? So you will vote for the upcoming school in the upcoming roadmap. And staff magic is one of the candidates. And it's up to the community. I'm not having that many meaningful encounters in MO2. It's just a battle royale. Give us cantinas from Star Wars Galaxies. Obviously, it depends heavily on where you are and who you run into, right? When I'm playing and when I see other playing, I really enjoy meeting random people across the world, having a little chit chat there, having a little laugh there, having a little trade there, having a little gank there, having a little murder there, having a little goofy moment there, having a little RP moment there, and I'm free to do whatever I want wherever I am in the world. And it's amazing, and it's so fun and rewarding, and that's what I think sandbox MMORPG should be all about. And we need more and more tools and options and fun stuff, right? See. Does this game have arcane archery? You can make an arcane build. They call it arcane archery build. If you talk to some of those that name and build those different builds, there's a lot of different builds people are experimenting around with, and you see new setups every now and then. That's one of the beauty as well. The more function groups, spells, systems, magic schools we add to the game, the more of those combination and crazy builds you're gonna see over time. Archery is something that many people are, like as a play style and want to play, but it's lacking few components to let you really shine as an archer or ranger style or whatever we call it, and that's something that can be expanded on for when we do the melee special abilities adrenaline system focus. Didn't know better. I played WoW and I loved it, but I didn't know about Mortal, which I love way more. I think Mortal is still underground. I think it's going to blow up when advertising starts. Mix, yeah, 100%. I mean, like I said many times, World of Warcraft obviously is one of the best, most successful MMORPG in the world. They've done an amazing job with this world lore, storyline, quests. Beautiful masterpiece, right? If not, it wouldn't have been that successful. So I fully understood why it was good for, why it is. But it's such a very different game, focused on a very different thing comparing to a game like Mortal Line, Ultima Line, Evil Line. The focus is more on the players, the interaction, the trade, player-driven economy, everything that's player-made rather than boss grind made, like in WoW. So obviously very, very different core rules that makes the focus very different. And I would also say that we have a much older audience compared to WoW. Gritty, cool, raw, believable world, but also the interactions require a little bit more, I would say. But yeah. When was this game respect time? So that is also a very challenging, tricky thing, right? Because it varies heavily depending on what you do in the game and who you talk to and what you see the game to be. An interesting comparison that we talked a little bit before is like looking at Gloria Victis, for instance. It became greatly popular when they released the TC. Everyone exciting to get the battle going that we all been waiting for in Mortal 9, and it was instant action, instant gratification. But after a few weeks, it started to slow down, and people was, I'm going back to Mortal, and even though I doesn't get the instant action gratification and less of a downtime as you say here, they still think that when it does happen, it matters most. It's a better rush. It's a better reward. It's more fun, more awesome. And it all matters because we are in this living world where everything isn't a Quake arena, auto teleportation to participate in a battle, and reward doesn't matter really. So I think that we are trying to do it the opposite, right? We're trying to build a believable world where it matters, and there's a core foundation that just keeps on expanding and evolving. Now soon we're adding the conflicts mechanics, the TC mechanics with a proper, well thought through core and deep system in this TC system that's heavily refined, so it will matter even more and be even more exciting to participate in those battles. That's the goal, and that's what we believe, and we can see how that worked in the first game and how we need to improve it in this game, right? The sequel. So yeah, I think that will also change that a little bit, because a lot of PvP players that want the instant gratification action, then obviously, yeah, it may take time before you run into a solid battle, you know, a fair battle, because it's natural occurrences, right? You don't sign up, you don't auto thing, right? So people always want to win, right? Because you don't want to lose. You don't want to lose your honor. You don't want to lose your gear. So you may bring a few more friends before you participate. But with TC and with multiple hotspots around your location where you live, you will always have enemies or friends or foes also living near you, which will absolutely give you more opportunity of less downtime, as you call it, more respected time if you are focused and active in those areas. And there will be infinite, never-ending battles around these hotspots and areas. You never know when there's someone gonna try to hijack your base or mess around with your base, right? So I think that will obviously heavily affect that part. Fought Master. I started with WoW, did know better. Mix, and that's what the majority of world's MMO players did. They hit a perfect timing when it was acceptable with proper internet, acceptable to pay a monthly subscription without feeling that someone is stealing your money because you're using your credit card on the internet. That was a big no-no many years ago. You're not paying for the being online on internet every minute, which many countries did for a very long time. So they hit everything perfect timing and made a masterpiece, and it's Blizzard, you know, with a track record. So they got a real good timing and made a huge success with World of Warcraft. And that's also when a huge new audience was ready to play a MMORPG for the first time ever. So yeah, timing was excellent for them. They had this story, they had resources, everything was perfect timing. And that was, yeah, successful. But yeah, the majority that played Ultima Online and found that was a wow, a world awakening, that holy shit, you can play games like this. It's a whole new, stepping from Diablo, that was like, you know, when you play with 4 other friends or foes, that was wow, holy shit, this is so cool. And then going from that to UO with thousands of players, wow, it was just wow. But it was so early, right? And like I said, not everyone could use internet or credits card. So but that's where a lot of people coming from also, and think that that's how a MMORPG should be today. What the hell is going on with all these WoW clones that are just worse and worse? Why play a WoW clone when there is the original World of Warcraft, right? So that's where we come into play. We want to try to really push Ultima Online roots forward and show the world this is a side of MMORPG that everyone can enjoy, as long as you adapt to danger and death and loss, because you can always replace it rather easily. But it won't be for everyone. But it will be absolutely everything for a lot of people that want more than follow the question mark, and that's it. Look, guys, I honestly just want to feel a true, impactful, and life-changing chicka-boom and read your link. We plan to make turtles and crabs rideable as well, yes, and they will be more efficient in water, is the plan, yes. There are some mechanics there that we obviously need to add as additional support, so those swimming function won't come first. Let's see here. I'm gonna scroll down a little bit here again. We're not planning to do a wipe. We had a lot of many discussions where we also try to in-depth explain what a wipe means and a reason for not wiping and why there would be a reason for wipe. We explained that. We talked about pros and cons, and we also talked about the reason some people want to wipe and why a wipe wouldn't solve those issues that those players described. So we need to approach this project as a long-term project, respect the player base, and also protect the player base properly in the long term, because this is an online game. We need to be very realistic that in any single online game in the world, including Blizzard and the big guys, there will always be cheaters, hacking, and crap, right? It's part of the human nature on the internet. And obviously we will also have our fair share of that, and we always need to work against it and always dedicate developers and time into that. So that's why that is the correct path forward. Protect the players, undo the crap, plug the holes, and ban cheaters and move on. So yeah, I hope that makes sense in a short version of that response that we have done more in elaborated depth in other streams. Thank you, RPM's Gaming. Thank you. I'm trying my best. I've yet to meet a single player who is like, yeah, I enjoyed my AFK time boosting spells, you know, like everyone did in UO. I mean, right, there are components that I agree that it's a little bit old-fashioned, right? And we may have to evolve some of those parts to be more rewarding when doing successful things in a game, to put the work effort in the right place where it matters, rather than the best way is to AFK something. You know, we agree with that, right? That we should evolve that and improve it where it matters. And we most likely will. It's just, again, a matter of prioritize order of things. All right, so let's see. Battle.net was a big success for networking. The best thing about WoW is Warcraft, the original RTS. Yeah, I really much enjoyed Warcraft, the good old RTS game. Really solid. It was also like new ground, felt so fresh, so fun when that was released. It was a genre breaker, right? For the first time. Really, really good. Warcraft and then StarCraft, I think, was almost a little bit better. And then we got Command and Conquer Generals, also really, really solid one when it comes to RTS. Very successful games, all of them, and really, really good. And yeah, I played the crap out of those games. Same with Diablo. And then Ultima Line became a big one for a little bit over 10 years. But yeah, I'm quite wide when it comes to the different genres of games. I like quite a lot, including RTS, first-person shooters, MMOs. So yeah. Diablo 4 about to drop Friday ready, Henrik. I'm not gonna sit here and be negative for everyone excited for Diablo 4, but I'm so torn because, like I said, I was a huge fan of Diablo 1 when it was released. Holy shit! I felt like a kid on New Year's Eve. Do you guys remember that feeling when you had this? Wow, I dream it. I want to play it non-stop. You know, lovely experience that I only had in a few games over the years. More so when I was young, sadly, because there's nothing that have managed to give that as of late, which is really sad, I think. But there's some clear explanation of why, which I think is quite sad for the gaming industry. Like I said, huge fan of Diablo 1, obviously a huge fan of Diablo 2, played the crap out of them, lawned them with friends, DreamHack, everything was super good, right? And it also gave that seed, that shit, the step towards Ultima Line in one way. Because that's how I got involved in the beta group for Ultima Line back in '96. From Battle.net in Diablo 1, actually. And then Diablo 3 came, right? And I thought, ooh, all these years, nostalgia, I felt again the feeling that I'm excited, I want to play this. Because obviously they can't mess up Diablo 3, just make Diablo 2 and expand it nicely, right? So I picked it up with my friends. We're gonna play the crap out of it. And holy shit, we were so disappointed that we had to go and take a big dump and then never look back. Very depressing, very depressing. And we felt that what the freaking happened here? It's not the Diablo team, it's nothing Diablo speaking to me, it's a thin WoW clone. It's true. We examined the game and thought, what the hell is going on? They took WoW function and put it in the game. Obviously, Diablo fans wouldn't enjoy that. I thought, what the hell? How the hell can they ruin such a masterpiece game? Very sad, very sad. And now, bam! They announced Diablo 4. I thought, all right, they're you know, they go back to the darker, gritty graphics. That's one thing. And I was getting my hopes up again a little bit and thought, hopefully they're getting back to the roots. We can enjoy it a little bit. And then I saw the freaking laser balls again. Copy paste from Diablo 3 and I thought, what the hell is... God damn it! I told everyone, God damn it! Stop! Stop! We're back to the shit show. Back to the shit show. So I thought, okay, I'm not gonna be excited. I'm not gonna, you know, go deep into it because I'm just gonna curse at the freaking laser balls again because that's a copy paste from Diablo 3 and that is a copy paste function from WoW. And I don't like it because that's not Diablo. That is a thin WoW clone. And now they try to push it towards MMO function, right? Out in the world with bosses. Again, more WoW introduced. And I understand why the WoW team is getting their included effort in Diablo 4 because WoW was so successful. So let's try to make it WoW. No, make it Diablo. Step away from WoW, make it Diablo. So it makes me a little bit upset. That's why I don't have any high hopes for Diablo 4, even though somewhere in my stomach I would like it to give me a little bit of a Diablo feeling, right? So I'm not sure. I could be wrong that, you know, even though they have laser balls, maybe it is more Diablo. I guess some of you guys have tried the beta and knows more about it, right? Maybe it is a better improved game. But I think Path of Exile absolutely smashed Diablo 3 out of the park. They made a proper Diablo feeling with depth and much better than Diablo 3. And now they're also making Path of Exile 2, right? Which could be replacing Diablo 4 if Diablo 4 is just remotely close to Diablo 3. But this is just my take on it, and I haven't tried Diablo 4, so I have no clue if I'm right or wrong, right? You tell me. What's about Mortal 9? Does Diablo have such a beautiful elephant armor? No. I did try the beta, it wasn't what it was. So am I right? Is that what you're telling me overhead? Is it more like a Diablo 3 expansion and not so much Diablo 1 and 2? Diablo 4 is far better than D3. It should be, right? If not, because they got a lot of heart beating. You know, I wasn't alone in my feelings, right? The whole world enraged told the Blizz of this, right? When they played through Diablo 3. So obviously if they listen to that and go back to the roots of Diablo, they should have a better game, right? But yeah, we will see. Diablo 4 launch stream. Better than Diablo 3 is not a high bar. True. It needs to be a hell of a lot better than Diablo 3, I think, for me to even try it. But yeah, we'll see. And they're doing seasons and stuff as well, right? They're not really back to the roots of Diablo. But what do I know? Yeah, we missed tracking. But I mean, Diablo have been close to my heart. That's why I always respected Diablo. It gave me a lot of inspiration to become a game developer. So I have, you know, I'm coming from that old experience. So I always have a strong heart for Diablo 1 and 2. That's why I got a little sad and upset about Diablo 3. And I don't know what about Diablo 4. I would say that if it wasn't for Diablo 1, we wouldn't be here today. There wouldn't be any Immortal Line, because that's what started everything for me, and that's how I got interacted with Ultima Line. And I wouldn't probably be a Ultima Line player if I didn't play Diablo and was on Battle.net when they hijacked me to help with Ultima Line. So that is why I thought it's worth talking a little bit about Diablo. Does feel better than Diablo 3, but being filled with a battle pass, yeah, pass on top of a for $70 price tag and battle pass. Holy shit, even the giants that are so rich are getting so greedy to crank the juice out of everything and just invent things for the inventing's sake for getting more money. We're trying to make the best game in the world, and hopefully it will be worth that minimum fee we need to be able to pay our services, pay our developers, and keep expanding the game and making it better. Tried Diablo 4 in the last test. It was much better than Diablo 3, but still didn't really have the Diablo feel from the first two games. Yeah, a little bit sad to hear that, and that's what I was expecting when I saw playthrough when people were playing it. And those damn laser balls popped up again. Can't stand those. Only heard about Blizzard. I mean, we need to thank Blizzard because we are here thanks to Blizzard as well, like I said. So that's why I thought we can talk a little bit about some of the games that inspired us to be here today and make Mortal Online. But yeah, obviously we try to stay on track as much as possible. I'm gonna start the giveaway, guys. So if you type !Emma2, we will have it rolling in a moment. As lead designer and CEO of the game that disrespect its players' time, probably more than any other game out there, do you think you have a strong position to criticize Blizzard from? Macros, did you hear my comment when someone else, I think it was Fart Master, asked what we want to do, what we are going to do about respecting the player's time? Because I did elaborate on that topic and how that most likely going to change with TC, and also depending on where we're talking about not respecting the time, you know, in specifics. And like I said, I don't criticize Blizzard, I praise Blizzard, and I thank them because, like I said, I'm a huge fan of the original games. Diablo 1 and 2, masterpieces. I wouldn't be here, I wouldn't be making Mortal Line if those games didn't inspire me and hooked me in those games. Warcraft, the initial RTS, loved it. StarCraft 1 and 2, loved them. I played a little bit of Overwatch as well, but the rest is history. I couldn't really get into the rest of those games. So I think they have done obviously some of the best games and inspiration to the world, including me. So I've been a fan of Blizzard. So I'm not just sitting here and criticizing Blizzard. I was just a little bit disappointed when Diablo didn't continue as a Diablo game. It continued more as a lightweight WoW clone-ish slasher game instead, which wasn't what the majority of the Diablo players wanted, and I'm one of them. Bad pass with laser ball rewards in MO2 when? BMO. Good question. Good question. Remember, Blizzard has thousands of people to pay. Indeed, indeed. Of course, and they want to increase their profits and gains and value in the company. That's obviously how any boards and CEOs should be running their companies, try to make them successful, right? Obviously, we try to do that here at Starvolt as well. Even though we're starting out as a small team, less resources, we still strongly believe that what we're building is quite unique. It's inspired from very solid core games that have had several hundred thousands of players enjoying them that can also very much enjoy, and many of them are finding their way in our game, enjoy Mortal Line. And we still are completely in the shadow in terms of not a single marketing activity whatsoever. Obviously, with our milestones in place, we have a very good opportunity to reach out to, over time, millions of players, and I think a pretty decent fraction of those may find Mortal Line 2 to be a very solid MMORPG to enjoy for many, many years to come. And we will never sacrifice microtransaction, pay to win, or locked content, stuff like that. You're getting the entire experience including all expansions. All you need is an active subscription and you're getting all that. MO2, yeah, did I miss that? Expedition mark MO2. I'm sure you seeing it in the chat here. But yeah, we'll give it a minute and then I will roll it. Loadouts, quality of life, to pull regs into a bag. Yeah, like I said, there are many quality of life requests that you guys have that we 100% agree with. So we will try to, you know, pick some of those, put them in a prioritized order, and evaluate the development time and try to make it happen over time. We just need to deliver TC, solid, good, and then we have the epic Unreal 5 transition update, which also includes some very important things. And then we can continue with new areas and content and focus. A little bit disappointed. Indeed, we all can be disappointed at things when we don't think things goes as planned, right? It's just how it is. What about the Lost Vikings? Yeah, I did play Lost Vikings as well. I even forgot about that old game. Was one of their first, right? That was a success, and yeah, I did play it, and it was a cool game. Yeah. But it really shook my world in a positive way when I got my hands on Diablo. Wow. I can even remember that feeling in my gut. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like, shit's gonna be so fun to play and just spend all this time and improve my character and play with my friends. It was lovely. Lovely. And I only felt that in a few games. Ultima Online also. And of course, the same roots in Mortal Online. And it's so cool to see when players, and both old and new, share that experience when they get that adrenaline rush in Mortal Online. Because things matters, you know. When you die, you lose your stuff. And it's a unique feeling that also mostly only Ultima Online could give me. But that was a rush and experience that I never could get in any other game. And it's pretty cool to see when people share that experience in Mortal Online. And it just feels awesome that, you know, we also managed to offer that experience in Mortal Online. BG3. FromSoft. No inspiration. The server is bugged under 2K active players. Even if 50K players try to join the game, wouldn't be able to stay up and running. We're talking about Mortal 9 now, Demo Man. So we never got close to any of the main capacities since we done our network optimization. And obviously that's going to be exciting to get those real tests. Hopefully starting with TC, right? We're going to do measurement with the new system in place. We're going to add one of the components we had to revert in our last patch that we need to have in place to be kind of more down with the network optimization. But yeah, we are, I don't know percentage, but we're talking about 7 ms capacity out of 150. We're extremely far away currently from our current capacity. So hopefully we will hit a sweet spot we are perfectly happy with when it comes to main capacity for a content sized as Mirland. And obviously the next step would be to add more continents, right? Indeed.
Another one.
Panasai is looking forward to MO sailing, eh? Brad Wire with the gift. Thank you very much, Brad Wire. Thank you very much. Alright, 1 more minute and then rolling the giveaway, guys. If you just tune in, exclamation mark MO2.
Oh my god, another one.
Another one.
my god, another one.
Another one. What about increasing walk cries duration to be more useful? Most of the boss finish even before the animation ends. Also about blind spell duration things. I haven't really heard that much feedback or complaints that the war buffs are too slow. They are meant to be effective when used correctly, coordinated correctly, teamed up correctly. And we actually see that being a decent big factor in group fights. And I haven't really heard complaints since we increased their duration a bit during the Clade balance tweaks sessions. Yeah, I actually don't recall anyone reaching out to extend the duration on them. So that's the first I hear it. Subscription is a necessary turbo to protect the game integrity, to remove a lot of crap from the game, and to pay for the services. We need to pay for the services. We need to pay the developers and the staff, support, GMs. It's not cheap to run this project. And we don't want to sacrifice the game that many games I believe is doing, like wrecking them up by locking content behind it, pay to win crap, expansion after expansion. We are doing this for you, the players. We want to offer you a better game experience without anything diluting your experiencing and forcing you to pay $5, $5, $10, $10, fuck it, $50, ah shit, $80, and then bam, you pay 10 times more a month to compete and to expand than you would when you just paid a normal subscription. Those business models are made and developed for you to pay more and be addicted more to pay more. Usually quite successful companies, but I will love to not dilute a game because I'm a hardcore gamer. I will love to offer one of the best sandbox games in the world. And if we can do that successfully by getting enough of players supporting us with the same vision that enjoy that and don't want to dilute the game, we're happy with that. And we don't need many players to very quickly break even, and we don't need many more players to start expanding. So we strongly believe that's much better for the players, much better for the game, and we don't need much because we are not a billion-dollar company with thousands of developers we need to pay. We are smaller, and turnaround profit the margin is much very different. So, but we fully understand that there will be people that think, why don't you do it free to play? Because most other does it. We fully understand that, but we just hope that people will consider once before that you are actually one benefiting from this decision. We're protecting the game, giving a better gaming experience. And it's a donut and a Coke, and you're getting thousands of hours in return. So it's not like a outrageous price for hopefully what you're getting in return. But obviously you need to enjoy the game, think that it's worth it to invest that subscription, and hopefully it is. Well, so it's beautiful. Keep up the great work. Make it more beautiful. Love this game and look forward to playing for quite a while. Enoch Bram, thank you very much. I'm glad you're enjoying it. MA2 has the best in-game music though. It has good music, handcrafted, custom made for our gaming world. Will smaller guilds get destroyed easily in TC? No. It will never be cheap and easy to destroy a city or any buildings. That is an investment, and it should be worth that commitment. And there should be a reason for it, because it's not that you're gonna profit by just destroying houses. So you can actually profit by having them live on your ground. So it could actually be that many keep owners wanna promote their citizens or neighbors, live here, we protect each other's, and we all benefit together, rather than just randomly go and destroy them. So small guilds and groups and citizens would actually have quite a power and impact. They will give benefits to the main owners in some ways. There may be some trade protection in some ways. There are benefits to have by actually being friendly neighbors rather than just enemies everywhere. Realize, thank you for the prime. Yeah, along with TC, we're also deploying additional updates when it comes to security and things. As I said, it's always an evolving thing and something we need to prioritize in the background of the development. And yeah, there are some components that we're also deploying along with that. Did you try out my online PK system in MO1 or are you planning to do it in MO2? PK system, do you mean the murder system? So we're looking to update the flagging and standing system a little bit with the epic patch, which gonna change this a little bit. It could be that we are looking at having permanent tracked murders, so you can see it and you can engage at your own will. We want to try to make that not interfere and completely remove bounty hunting, because we successfully tested bounty hunting, people enjoying it, and we want to refine and expand on bounty hunting without completely replacing it by now everyone is running around as red murders. There's no reason to have bounty hunting anymore. We want to make sure both fits in a proper way. $160 FPS in Bacti, new PC. Yeah, you're gonna see improvement in all cities, more or less. So most likely you're gonna see a little bit improvement there as well. And the hitches is one of the big things that also will be improved on. So we're gonna take a look at decoration and doors, walls when it comes to TC test session. There are a few things we're discussing there. How people can block, quickly pick up and put down walls, and it kind of interferes a little bit of the extension we want to do when it comes to sieging and breaking down doors, etc. If you can just place a wall there or a wooden bench and it's all stopped, then obviously that kind of interfere with those mechanics where we had to pull up to the second floor. There may be another door there. We want to engage towards that instead in the long run, which obviously means we need to have some rules where you may not be able to block with a little bench to prevent all of that to happen. So, but it's very sensitive and we can't just rush through that. The thing is with TC, it's such a huge and complex system that we're adding so much more than we ever had in the first game, like tenfold more depth, more interesting, engaging mechanics. But it doesn't just stops and ends there. Sometime after Epic, we may have a TC Pack 2 we want to release, and it's heavily also based on the player data, what we see, how it evolves over the coming months when people are playing around with TC, when that's live, in terms of we may be missing some services, some options and tools that occurs later on, because that's always the thing. For a few weeks, everything can be happy, dandy, perfect, fun, exciting, and then slowly over time, something changed, made that change, and you find new things that could, bring awesome things or worse things. And that's something we want to, follow up on in the future. Like, okay, we need to expand a little bit here. We need some of these functions and options to, again, promote a healthy, exciting TC for the future and ever going, if that makes sense. I feel about monetization models like Path of Exile. I mean, that model of Path of Exile worked quite well, right? There's enough people that loves paying for rainbow hats and furry dust and all the crazy madness. And that's awesome that works for them and that they can still make the game they want without diluting the game core functions, and also make good profits and expand and build more and more. So many benefit from that. With that said, imagine rainbow dust, furry dust as the common thing we need to add every month to monetize our game. Since our game is a very believable first person, one of a kind VoIP where VoIP eventually gonna engage in whole new levels, it clashes a little bit, and I think we're sacrificing solid game experience to get that, right? So again, I really hope that we have an audience that share this vision, that want to have 100% integrity of the game, solid, nothing locked, nothing too crazy, nothing diluted, fair dust. Because obviously we need to make money in one way or another, right? And again, if I'm a gamer and I'm looking for a game, I would love to find a solid game I can invest in and enjoy the core I love with this game. And I will pick the monthly subscription 100 days a week over any microtransaction or free-to-play. Because we all know by now what a free-to-play game means, right? And in this type of game, I would be sad to sacrifice and get disturbed by those mechanics that will interfere with that. And that also means we need to reach out many more players, because that's how Path of Exile becomes successful. Everyone in the world tried it once or a while, you know, and it coming from Diablo, huge audience. So they only need a few whales, right? And, you know, a few of those groups that loves the fairy dust, or whatever we call it. And they can be successful in that. So that means we need to lower the bars. We need to have 100,000 more players. And then we need a fraction of those to start paying for fairy dust to kind of, you know, have a working business model. And do you think that would be a good idea? Would that be a good fit for Mortal Online? I don't think so. And I wouldn't pick it, right? That wouldn't be my first choice. I would love to get 100% what Mortal Online is. And I know that I'm getting everything like everyone else. And I only pay one set monthly fee, and I know that's a cost, rather than sneaking up on you like in Ark in those games, or Diablo Immortal, when you have to start paying $100 a month to compete. That's a lot of money. That's crazy. And the whales are paying thousands of dollars every month. So it's a crazy step from the normal payers to whales. And I think it's a little bit sad direction for games. And I hope that we can put Mortal Online 2 on the world map and show that you can get 100% gaming experience. Everything is discovered and built by the players, and we can love it and enjoy it. And we just pay a set fee every month. And that should be enough for the players to think that it's worth this money. I'm getting in return many hours of enjoyment. So it's a fair deal. That's our goal. And hopefully that will be the case when we are delivering after TC and Epic Games. That is the goal, right? And just looking at the indication of what most people share with us in the community, and how we saw when we actually got some minor marketing that exploded during the stress test, there is an audience of millions out there that potentially can love Mortal Online and support us. We just have to tap into chunks of those every year to grow and be successful. Twitch, a platform stalled, will ban players from the game for talking bad about the game on. I'm not sure what you mean, but I mean, we don't just ban someone talking trash about us. That's internet, right? You can find people talking trash about every single game in the world. It's just, you know, a thing. Right, let's do the giveaway. I almost forgot. It's time, guys. Referral system. Yeah, we're going to try to do some of those. We're going to do Twitch drops. We're going to start marketing. So I have big faith that we will grow tremendously compared to now when we are not doing anything, right? Let's do the giveaway, guys. It's time. No, we're not banning anyone for trash talking. Obviously, if someone behaving as a child, cursing, screaming, yelling, crying non-stop, usually we say, come on, let's be adults in here, and we can still discuss. We can give criticism, feedback, negative, positive. in an adult way. We never ever ban for that. But every now and then we have some children that are not happy, haven't got their breakfast, and they're screaming, yelling, cursing nonstop. Obviously, we need to clear out that crap from our community to be able to enjoy real discussions and the game. That's just natural, and we are not the only one in the world that does that. Every single company in the world does that. So it's just a matter of following some logic, right? Remain as an adult. Sure, you can curse sometime, shit, god damn it, fuck that, fuck this. We don't ban based on that. The mods ban when someone is breaking the rules, and that's just how it is. Just like every other single community in the world, we're not different. So if someone gets mad and tells stories about how we hate one person and we personally ban him, that's just ridiculous. We run a company. We don't know who everyone is. We have rules. We try to enforce them so people can enjoy their time in here, and we can actually spend fruitful discussions with each others, because we are very keen on communicating with our community, just like I am doing my streams. We love to have that interaction with you guys that are serious or here for the right reasons, right? But obviously we can't attend to madness and craziness, right? We only have a few hours a day we can interact and spend the time here. Obviously we need to make it worth it, right? I think you agree. I don't think that's strange. Madness. Indeed. I think 99% agrees to that logic, right? Giveaway time, guys. Let me start it. And we are rolling the ball. Let's see, we have subscription is coming when we delivered the epic milestone. Ridiculous is a very good expression. Ridiculous indeed. All right, good luck everyone. Here goes the giveaway. Let's go. Or are you in here? Why is it loud? Sorry, was it loud? Reed Craps, congratulations, Reed. Juice. All right, let's see if he's here, guys. If he's not here, we do a quick re-roll, you know that, without having to re-sign up. But we're giving 3 or a moment to respond. TR, are you here? He is indeed here. All right, let me grab you the key. One moment. Where the hell do we have it? Here. TR. There you are. Congratulations again. And are you a mortal veteran, or what is your rank status? TR. Everyone says rigged. That's the classic theme when we do our giveaways. You spelled terror wrong. Alright. Oh my gosh, you are a veteran. Are you coming from Mortal 2 or Mortal 1 even, TR? Mode 2. Alright. So a Mode 2 veteran then. That's cool. Whoop. Yeah, that was the giveaway. And we are stepping over to the ending note here, guys. Alright, alright. Mo veteran, Mo 2 veteran. I'm too a veteran of the Q wars. Heebie-jeebies. We all been in the Q wars, or at least the ones that were here in the beginning, right? The horrible Q boss. Everyone else flexes in MO1 veteran. Plans running 2 characters on one account. So as we said many times, after Epic we're gonna evaluate our Diva system, which were meant to be the sibling relation set up on one account. But there are several steps we need to go through. So, you know, we can't say much more than that, right? We have a system designed for it because there's a few things we want to respect and protect when it comes to reputation matters. Fewer builds that, you know, you're supposed to have a trade interaction. You pick your sides that you enjoy, your friends pick the rest, or the market handles the rest. So we don't get as close as it was in the first game where characters didn't matter. We had tens of them and there were no investment and they were too linear, no depth in them. So that's why we refined the whole crafting system and skill system. But yeah, we will revisit the Diva system and see what could make sense. If I come back now, do I have to start a new character? So next, if you have a character since the game was released on Steam, that should still be there. Yeah, I don't have to remake anything. Gains T or won the giveaway this week. Can you explain what the veteran points do? So there would be a certain new window next to your Clade window that is the veteran system. And that allows you to do certain actions to gain a new type of experience on your character, which you then can distribute into 2 different pools. And they cost different, they have different costs, and that will allow you to more deep refine your character with additional skill points. So that's the basic of it. It's planned for after Epic Games. And it's also a never-ending tier system. So they're gonna be obviously, you know, when you're talking about, are you a veteran, this can show you that hell yeah, I'm a freaking veteran. I'm a golden age character. You can showcase it by using this system as well. Never ending. So there will be one of you being the top dog in the world, and you can always try to compete towards that. So that's a never ending bragging rights. And the big start progression of this is also giving your character reward and expansions. We will get Freehaven with Epic release. So we're planning to add Freehaven after Epic as well. I can't say how that roadmap gonna look yet because we haven't fully designed it and we need your input in it. But yes, we plan to sometime near the release on Epic make Haven free to play. That is a plan, because that could be a very good transition for those that are unsure to try the game out. And if they like what they're getting a taste of, they could commit, right? The engraving for crafting will be expanded on over time as well. We only have one type now. There will be multiple types from common to unique. And possible some differences in the reward on them. And I love the game. Thank you for all the work you guys put into it. Quick question, is there any way we can tame dumb pests at higher levels? Right now it takes like 45 minutes to 1 hour to dominate a single level 50-60 pet, while higher level are impossible. So it's meant to be that you need to catch some of them younger. You can't catch them old already. So that's by design that they are supposed to be in that way. I can't say if there's room for tweak, you know, when it comes to that. The chances is so extreme. We tried to make that clear that, you know, there's a small chance or a big chance or you gain no experience. We didn't have that feedback before, which made it even more pure hell because you didn't have a clue what's going on. Is it possible or not? Now we at least give you the feedback that it is possible or not, but the chance can be, yes, very, very thin if you're just at the edge, right? There could be room for some improvement and tweaks to make it even more, a little bit more elaborated and easier to get that type of feedback. Yes, Epic is planned for 2023. Free having would be huge for the growth of the game. Yeah, we agree. And when that debate was started within the community with us, even in the stress test, we thought that, yeah, it makes sense and it fits, and that could be a good way of having a marketing pool as well, as in, you know, getting people aboard that are very unsure that could still get a taste for the game, right? The base subscription is looking to be $14 US, so that's a little bit under World of Warcraft and way under EVE Online, but that's standard subscription. We have the Frogmen. What are they called again, guys? We have Frogmen on Sarka. And some of them are intelligent. Incubus, thank you, and good night. You know who has the most kids in the game? No, I have to look that up. But we may also add some of those things in the game. There's a cool surprise that I don't want to reveal at this point yet. It's a little bit too early as well. We want to be sure we can handle it. But when we do reveal that, it's gonna be really, really cool. One of a kind, first in the world. And yeah, I'm very excited about it. Can't wait until we have confirmed a few steps until we can reveal some of that. Bond, you mean the bond from like in UO, so you don't lose it? So pet is a little bit different in Mortal 9, right? And there's always a supply and demand and investment in cost and loss that we need to be careful about. So we decided not to include bond initially. With that said, it's, you know, there may be possibilities in the future with the right cost investment for that, but right now we won't have time to go through it. Will the game service be better with the subs? So I mentioned this previous stream. One big component we're building now is we have hired a few new senior coders that are currently building a very certain backend system for our server systems, and that is to greatly help our GMs, because the thing is, our GMs are doing a hell of a job and their job isn't easy. A player point of view can be like, well, it's a little bit random how the support service is, and you can be unlucky or it can be lucky or a negative experience. But the thing is, our GMs are doing everything they can, the best of their ability with the tools they have. The problem is the tools are lacking. We have been building these tools for quite a while, expanding, but we have there's a few things we've identified that we need to kind of rebuild at the core to have a much better insight, more efficiency, more automated systems, a better pipeline, how the communication goes between a player and support staff members, and how everything is logged. And also you're going to have the opportunity to give your ratings of how that experience was, because we are extremely keen on giving you the best possible support and GM support experience in the game. And we fully understand when things isn't a pleasant experience, And sadly, there are cases where the GMs simply can't help due to lacking of tools or insight. So with these new developers, this system will greatly help that area. So yes, we know that we need to improve this system, and we know it's vital for when we are growing the population as well, when more people may need help or assistance in different ways. We need to have powerful tools in this area, and we have designed it, and now we're building it with these developers. So yeah, Buffanoids, that is correct, Washdupna. Our Buffanoids is coming back, obviously, and those are really cool frogmen that you will encounter eventually. It's cheaper and more entertainment than Netflix, Hulu, Easy Choice, Pure Harmony. So obviously that's our goal, right? If we can offer you enough hours a month to enjoy the money, so you get the value back for your money investment, right? Hopefully people will, see that that is a good trade and support us. And that allows us to grow even more and give you an even better game, a larger game over time. Any news about Space Thursday? No, so we're not also gonna discuss other dimensions in the Mortal community. We listen on you guys, and we wanna make it clear and not cause any confusions or misunderstandings. So in time, things will be posted and updated on that website and network. And those interested in participating in that evolution, that will be an option obviously down the road. Even though we talk a little bit Diablo and other games in here, obviously we try to make them dedicated to Multiline 2, right? What about loading screen to Sarika still? It depends on a few things. It's a little bit uncertain because what we are evaluating right now as well is the ability to run the other continents on other world continents. So we may be looking at Sarika is actually located in North America. And we may have something in Singapore, like Lakia or something, or Mathar. So you can play across the world in the same universe. And that is very exciting. And it's a cool concept. And that may be the right approach. So if you are on the edge of being able to enjoy certain aspects of the game due to ping, you could always go to one of those other continents that have a better ping for you, and you may enjoy all of these things. I mean, there will always be the majority to enjoy in this game. That's the beauty of it, because we built it that way. You will be able to enjoy the majority of everything with a high ping even, as long as it's stable. But obviously, it's very individual when it comes to how you are affected by pairing, for instance, if your ping is out of the ping normalization range. And you may hate that because that's what you want to do the most. And then maybe another cross-continent would be a suitable option for those players, right? But no TC yet. So we are getting close to the first TC test. My plan is to either the next week or the next again to announce the setup for it, the plan, and hopefully also be able to give you a date when we start the first tests for TC. So we're getting closer and closer. We use Chat GPT-4 in development. Henrik. Yes. Yes. And we will push new boundaries in the worlds first. And that is very exciting. And I didn't plan to mention that at all now, because that's going to be a dedicated stream later on, because it's hell of a cool stuff. First in the world, coolest stuff I've ever seen. And it's perfect for Mortal Online. But enough about that for now. Gonna have some cool stuff presented about that later on. Can I play a pick frogman race, please? Down the road. We can't do that now, but there is a possibility. We discussed this before in the team, and I had this discussion with Mats that there may be an opportunity for us to unlock additional races, clades down the road. But we need to reach some certain big milestones first before we have any time to go down that. So yeah, but yeah, we will see later, right? I mean, my dream is, like I said before, if we make a successful, stable release on Epic, we keep on growing, I can expand a team. I want to double the team and take those steps simultaneously, so we can focus on more things controlled. Brain dance. Come on, let's use the brain now. We're not stupid here, right? We're not talking about splitting up the population. First of all, the population is far greater than 1,500. I don't know where you got that number from. Are you playing the game or are you just speculating? Much greater than that. And our capacity on Milan is also much greater than that. We are not close to capacity limitations so far. We're gonna have new calculations on the TC stress test to hopefully have a more iron out where those numbers are, because we don't know right now. We can only simulate so much. Secondly, we are not splitting anything up. It's like when you're moving from west to east on Milan. Are we splitting anyone up? No, you're just traveling, just as you would travel across the Nave, the planets of Nave. You will be able to travel over the seas to other continents. That isn't splitting population. You're still in the same world. It's just that you move around in the world. Does it make sense, brain dance? I hope it helps to clear your confusion. Hola, greetings. Hello, Henrik. New to the game. Phenomenal. Just the MMO I've dreamed of. Awesome to hear Jane's signal, and I'm happy to hear it, and welcome. You're getting into some juicy time ahead. We have some very exciting patches ahead that will be a game changer for the game and population. Yes, there will be a bridge for Sarka that you have to construct to travel over. Ooh, Jane signal. Ooh. Want a giveaway. T or won it. We had queue issues and capacity performance issues, greatly ones during the stream release. Since then, we have dedicated network engineers that have been greatly increasing that, and many of you guys have witnessed the hard work and improvement in that, going from having poor network performance with decent large-scale battles to absolutely no network lag or delays or problems whatsoever, not even a hiccup when we broke the world record, around 450 players on the screen, highly detailed fighting with all crazy stuff, not a single hiccup, only a FPS hit on the clients, which is expected with that numbers and with that details, without our final optimization on the character system that we're going to add on later. So extremely happy to have broken those world record by far, and it's going to be exciting to see where the overall main capacity are on Milan with the last component that we plan to add with the TC test phase. Buffanoid playable race. We will see. We will see. There's 500 people online right now. Yeah, and you think that's the population we have. So when everyone goes to sleep, we have 0 online playing. Is that what you think? We talked about this many times as well, because there's always a confusion. Someone will look at Steam chart and think that's all the players we have. First of all, the Steam chart is quite off. You can add a few hundreds more. Secondly, it doesn't show our active player base. We have stats on the servers where we can see who is playing on a daily regular basis. That is an active player, right? If you play once and never played for 5 months, we call that as an inactive player. It makes sense, right? And then we have simultaneously online players currently, which is around 2,000 now, which is the one you're talking about. Obviously, these 2,000 people need to sleep soon. One logs on every minute and a few logs off every minute. That's a transition on a daily basis. We have one worldwide server, so that means we have a quite even player population compared to World of Warcraft that has a peak on 1,700 and then have 200 online during midnight when everyone is asleep. We always have around 1,500 to 2,000 something as an average, which is pretty even. And like I said, you can use a very rough common indication is that you can add a 0 when you want to get the active amount of players that are regularly playing the game, but not simultaneously right now. I hope that clears out some confusion and makes sense to, how you can estimate player numbers. So it's a big difference. And I notice a lot of people confuse those numbers, what it actually means. So if we're looking at our currently active players, we are successful, and that is very exciting. Obviously, we don't consider that 100% of our active players are going to subscribe. We expect some people that think they're on the edge, they're waiting on something, or for whatever reason, do not commit to a subscription. But if even 60% decides to subscribe, we are already past break even, which is very exciting for us because, like I said, we have a small cost compared to the giants, and that means we don't need too many players to be able to start growing. So yeah, I hope that makes sense to clear some of that confusion out. We understand that it's not something that you may think what it actually means. Will random meteor drops coming? Yes, that is our relic system. We plan to add that sometime after Epic, where you will be able to see meteor drops from the sky in a very cool system. We're going to refine it a little bit from the first game. Very successful in the first game, and it gave very exciting world events that you can participate into if you want to. Really, really fun and cool. So for sure it's coming back. Can't even do someone in town without freezing frame multiple times. So Dodge, that depends on obviously your hardware a little bit and also where and what town. But as I mentioned before, we plan to, every single town we get an update for Unreal 5, which should heavily reduce those freezes and also give you an overall better FPS. I'm active even though I play only Wii. Only Wii? Weekend, what? I mean, there's all kinds of active players, right? But we kind of draw the line where, or we have some stats that if you haven't played for a few months, then obviously you're on a break or have quit playing, right? But if you play within a few days on a regular weekly basis, we call those as fairly active players. Love the game. Keep up. Good work. Thank you, Kingman Talope. Thank you. The bounty coin, you're going to have some different rewards that you will be able to trade them for when we update the bounty system. We're gonna reveal more of that soon, including some options and improvements, so it's more enjoyable. And yes, obviously, finally be able to trade those rewards. What's up, Demi Noko? I'm not talking about active players, I meant players online. I think the world is already too big and adding another continent is going to split the run up even further. That's my issue. Brandon, so what I'm saying here is that, yeah, currently we are kind of standing still, a very slow growth, which is a good state to be in before we actually added those big guns everyone been asking for, waiting for, and so forth. As you know, TC is one of those big guns, and we're getting close to getting the test phases going here, which allows us to finally release it live. So with TC, we're expecting a huge growth, just like other games have done before us. Look at Glory Victus. The only difference is that we have a very deep TC system that have a infinite conflict going that hopefully will be exciting for a very long time. We also have the core game in place that makes people... The positive thing is that we're slowly growing and people are enjoying the core base of the game, even without the big guns. That's a very good core place to be in. When we deliver TC and the Epic Game Patch, there are going to be so many good things. The world going to be so much more heavily populated with hotspots, dynamic spawners, conflicts, So obviously we're expecting the population to triple or something. We're going to follow that very carefully, obviously. And obviously we know that, just asking the community think that Milan will be crowded around 3,000 to 4,000. And many think that it will not be as enjoyable when we're surpassing those numbers, because everything going to be cramped. You may not have any room for anything, not room for building, not room for doing your dungeon alone without interruptions. And that's understandable, right? Because we only have so many dungeons so far. That's when we all want and need another continent, right? Because we have more players, it's still growing. We need to spread them out and give more exciting stuff for everyone. Or it's going to be too crowded and people are going to say, I even got some of those DMs last week saying, I can't freaking play during peak hours because I can't go anywhere. It's always, locked down by guilds or groups or whatever that may be. So it's already a little bit there for some people and groups during our peak hours. So obviously if we double the amounts, there's no doubt we're going to have the need for another continent, right? And everyone going to build cities with TC. And people already built insanely much on most of the free spots. And we haven't even delivered TC. So obviously we need multiple continents when we keep on growing, right? And we're not growing rapidly now, just very slowly. But that's because we haven't delivered what everyone is asking for. And we are not spending a cent on marketing because we don't think it's ready to spend it to keep more of the new players arriving, right? So it all makes sense, I think, for us. And obviously we saw when we did marketing in the stress test, we exploded. It was so strong that we crashed MMORPG.com's servers. That was how popular our stress test was. People were loving it, and when they played the game, they said, this is gonna change this genre. And then when the stress test ended, they all left. And they're all waiting for us to deliver epic games with all those core pieces in place. It will be like a re-release. And obviously that's when we pick up the marketing again. And we have some big streamers and YouTubers ready to play the game and show the game for millions of players. So obviously we need to work hard on making sure we have plan B ready so we don't get insane queues again, right? Advertising before TC or before Epic? Advertising is planned for with Epic because that's when a new player experience is in place. For me, it doesn't feel right when we invest marketing, get new players, and they all get killed and pushed out by you, Jake. No, but seriously, obviously we need to have a proper new player experience, right? We just can't have a lottery if they're gonna quit or love it, depending on who they run into, what they run into, or where they start playing the game. So we're fixing that, and we will increase the stay ratio by many percentages, and that's when it's worth spending marketing to show the game to the world, and many more players will enjoy it and stay in the game. There will be more secure areas where they can enjoy the game and learn the game as well before they venture out into null-sec areas. A great game is the best marketing. Yeah, obviously that's too, right? We wanna make the game speak for itself, right? We still have some issues we need to solve, and we need those core pillars in place. And that's what we're working on for TC and Epic. Yeah, shit. I almost hit in 3-hour mark. Thank you for reminding me. Always time flies when I'm in these debates, but it's always interesting. And Henrik, what led you to the decision to wipe for Unreal 5? I've been waiting for this moment. I'm glad you finally caved in. Dublevo, as we said many times, that there's no reason to wipe with Unreal 5, and I even said it in this stream as well. You can scroll back and listen to my short version of it, or you can go back a few streams when I made a dedicated stream regarding of why a wipe isn't necessary and is the wrong thing to do. So yeah, there's a whole dedicated stream going in depth if you want to know why, because there are valid data and reasons of why we need to do things the right way. That is, the right way for Mortal Lion. And there will always be people that doesn't agree with everything, and that's just, understandable. All right, or maybe you just trolled me, right? All right, we're hitting the 3-hour mark, guys. I don't want to delude the streams and keep repeating myself, so you actually are interested in joining in upcoming streams. Let's do a little raid, shall we? Let's take a look. Who's streaming today? What a nothing. What is a nothing, Kit Sander? PR nonsense experience. What do you mean? Love the game. Thank you and the team for making it. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Let me do a little poll. Help me, guys. Help me with this poll. Right, 2-minute vote. Help me quickly vote, and we will do the raid. Lotus. Yeah, just click the poll here. You should be able to vote. Where the hell did my button go? My stream window need a refresh. I think I don't even see the votes taking go down. I think I need a reboot soon. I haven't rebooted for a few weeks. I never learn. I meant shops, not ships. Autocorrect. Wait, what did you ask? I'd like to see more information on the purpose of owning a city and house, other than respawning and storage, considering making players ships and getting rid of brokers. So yeah, we're getting close. I plan to, like I said, either next or next week again, we're gonna reveal a little bit of the progression of TC, updates around it, and also hopefully have a date for you guys when it's time to do the test and how you get ready for that test and all of that. Obviously there are many interesting components for you to run your own city and how you can run it successfully. You may, get rewards, having a lot of citizens living on your grounds, taking taxes. And of course, if you don't want to, depending on your rules, if you don't want to participate in any nations, you want to do your own rules, whatever, you can build your own kingdom and dominate in the world, set your own rules. And obviously, if you're living out of a city, then obviously you need all the services that a city provides, right? And you can invite other and new players to start and live there, and you will benefit from that also in certain ways, depending on the rules and goals you set up. There will be different conflicts and war and dominance for power and using relics. A lot of different things over time will be added to this, and your feedback and requests and things you would also like to see in these systems. We will add more and more over time. We will have exciting taverns that you can run, and the bank will also take some profits from when people are playing on those table games. We're gonna see Jake losing a lot of money on the blackjack tables, so if you run a successful tavern, you may profit from having Jack as a citizen. So there will be a lot of exciting things over time. Obviously, we won't have everything on patch 1. We will have a huge system on patch 1 that is the whole core root system of everything. But like I said, there will be more and more of these things that we want to add over time. And hopefully you guys will help us pick what we want first, right? Because this list is endless. And that's the beauty of it. We can keep on expanding it into infinity. If we can grow, have more developers, we can add more and more simultaneously. So that's why we have these community interactions. We want to see what you would like to see first, right? That makes sense. There will be an update to the murder and nation standing system with Epic also, yes. Yes, we need table games where you can sit down, smoke the pipe and play blackjack, Texas Hold'em and other cool table games with other players and against the bank. So where the hell did my vote go? This is what I mean. My poll is view results. Okay, let's see. So who won? The Sensor Lord won today's raid. All right. Let me just refresh the window before. Yeah, Jake, I know you're gonna play with a lot of high stake rolls in the blackjack tables. Holy shit, you're gonna have to work hard for those gold coins because I know how you play blackjack. I've never seen anything like it. How the hell do you calculate the odds when you're doing the bets? Quite funny to see. So yeah, we're gonna enjoy when you play our blackjack tables Immortal. Let me refresh the window. And then it's time for our raid. Right, the Sensor Lord, a real awesome guy. Streams quite regular. I see him every now and then. He becomes the master of melee. Let's give him some support with this raid today. Let's see where do I have my freaking raid. Here it is. All right, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in today. Thank you all for your questions, your donations, and supports. And it's always awesome to hang out with you. And we're getting close to the test. Like I said, maybe next week or next one, we're going to have some information regarding that. So yeah, let's raid the Sensor Lord. He's a cool guy. Let's give him some support, guys. Follow him and let's give him a chicka boom when we join him. All right, guys. All right. Let's give him a real chicka boom and scare the crap out of him. And I hope to catch you in the next stream and enjoy your evening. Thank you very much, all. And let's do this raid. All right, guys. Have a good one. Bye-bye.